It's time for Business Minds Coffee Chat, an inspiring show about the journey to personal and professional growth. And now, your host, Jay Shear.
Hey everyone, you're listening to Business Minds Coffee Chat, and I am your host, Jay Shear. I am super excited. I have got a fantastic guest with me in the studio. But before I introduce her, I'd like to start with a quote. Healing isn't about fixing what's broken. It's about reclaiming what's always been whole within you. Well, my guest today is originally from South Florida and moved to Palm Coast in 2022. She's a board-certified psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. She holds a bachelor's degree in nursing from Florida Atlantic University and a Master of Science in Nursing from Nova Southeastern University. She's a partner to Junior and a proud mom of 3. And when she's not working, you'll likely find her spending quality time with family, traveling, hanging out at the beach, and enjoying different restaurants. Please welcome the founder of Sunshine Psychiatric Care, Rhonda Richardson. Rhonda, it is so great to see you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the great introduction.
Absolutely. Question for you with the introduction. Is there anything that I missed that you think is important for me to point out?
I feel like you hit all the highlights, so thank you.
Absolutely. All right, great. So I thought a good starting point for us to just kick the conversation off would be for you to share with all of us maybe 2 or 3 words that you would use to describe yourself.
Yeah, okay. So 2 words I would use to describe myself. I would say passionate and caring.
Okay, passionate and caring. Well, with the type of work that you do today and the career that you have decided to pursue, those are 2 pretty important words, I would say. So would you say that being passionate and caring, has that always been part of your DNA?
Yeah, always,
okay.
Since childhood.
Since childhood. So tell me, let's talk about that a little bit. So you grew up in South Florida. Talk to us a little bit about growing up. What were you like as a young child, and what was the family dynamic like for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the youngest of 5.
Okay.
So growing up in South Florida, I mean, I had a great childhood. I was the baby, so just kind of probably annoying my siblings a lot, but just always rambunctious, curious. We were always really busy in sports. My parents both worked really hard to support a family of 5, so I grew up like watching that work ethic, and I feel like that really has, shaped me into who I am today.
Beautiful. So in terms of sports, what was your go-to sport? What would you say you were the best at?
I grew up cheerleading. I know a lot of people say it's not a sport, but I beg to differ.
There you go. I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Okay, great. So when you were young, did you have you're still young when you were younger, right. Did you have a vision at all for what you expected your life to be and become, and what kind of career you think you wanted to go into at that stage in life?
Yeah, actually. So when I was young, I used to want to be an anesthesiologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me an idea, how young were you when that first crossed your mind?
I can remember being as young as 12 saying, I want to be an anesthesiologist when I grow up.
Why? Where did that come from?
I've just always been a really caring person, so I've just always been drawn to the medical field, and it just seemed like a cool career.
That's so interesting. So I have found through my own experience, through my own life, from those who I coach and that I'm around, that there are experiences that we have in life, significant experiences that really do shape who we are. They don't necessarily define us unless we allow it to, but they can certainly shape us. What is one of those significant experiences that you've had from your life early on that you feel really did have a dramatic impact on the person who you've become.
Yeah, well, I became a mom when I was 20, so that really was a pivotal moment in my life that has really shaped me into who I am today and has propelled me into where I'm at right now. So,
were you ready to become a mom at 20?
No, not at all.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What was going on in your life at that time?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up through like middle school, high school, I was always an average student. Like I was never like great at school. So in high school, the anesthesiology dream kind of faded once I realized it's about 12 years of schooling. Because growing up, I was not ever like a straight A student or an honor roll student. I was a very average student. So it had me feeling like maybe school was not right for me. I mean, post-graduation from high school. So once I graduated high school, obviously my mom was like, come on, like we need to sign up for college. And I'm like, I need a breather. You know, I'm not ready for that right now. Like, I don't really know what I want to do just yet. But life has a way of lifing and things happen that put you exactly where you need to be. So I ended up becoming a mom when I was 20. And that was the moment that I realized I'm like, well, I'm not bringing a kid into this world to suffer. Like, I need to get my life together. So I signed up for nursing school. Thankfully, I had a really good support system in my family. I wanted to be there. So I really had to like learn kind of from the ground up. And I realized my teachers were right all these years. Like, I really could be a straight A student if I applied myself. I just was lacking the fundamentals, you know. In grade school, you fall behind pretty quickly and it's really hard to catch up. So when I made the decision to go to college, I wanted to be there. So I put all of my energy and effort into being successful. And I found that I was actually pretty good at it. So I became an RN and I continued. I'm like, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to just keep pushing forward. And I took it all the way to where I'm at now, like a master's. If you would have told me in high school, you know, that I would be a nurse practitioner, I would say, you're not talking about me. So it's really cool to see, you know, how things happen in life that bring you to exactly where you need to be. Because I feel like right now I'm exactly where I need to be, and like it's a really good feeling.
Oh, that is so good. And you know, there's something that I'm thinking about as you were sharing part of that story when you had mentioned that you were an average, and I'm using the word average because that's what you gave me, an average student. And it's so interesting how those labels that we accept really can have a dramatic impact on how we show up, and that can create limits in our lives, or it can empower us depending on what the label is. But the fact that you were able to show yourself and to prove to yourself that you could become much more than average and you could become anything that you wanted to when you decided to apply yourself. And I think that's a very powerful lesson for all of us, that no matter where we've come from and no matter what we've been through, that those experiences, they don't define who we are. We get to choose. Yeah. We get to choose those stories, and we can change at any time.
Absolutely.
So I love that example. So when you became a mom at 20, obviously it had a dramatic impact on how you saw your future, and what it really sounds like it gave you a lot of motivation, right, to change and to become the best version of yourself. How else did becoming a mom at a young age impact you? Give us some other examples of how that changed your life and your outlook.
I mean, becoming a mom at any age, it forces you to grow up because you're no longer the priority. Your child's the priority. So, you know, at that age, I was seeing my friends like out enjoying life, and my priorities were different. I wasn't there anymore. So I really just kind of put all of my focus into what I needed to do to set myself and my daughter up for having a great life.
Now, was the father of your first child was the father in the picture?
No, but thankfully, my longtime partner, Junior, like he's been an excellent father figure for her. So I'm super grateful for him.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's so good. So when you made the decision to go into nursing, had anyone in your family or people that you were around, had anyone had a nursing background or experience?
No. So actually, neither one of my parents, graduated college. My older brother, he's always been a really positive influence in my life, actually, my older brothers. My oldest brother is a teacher, like he has his master's degree, but nobody was in healthcare at the time. My youngest brother, who's 6 years older than me, he's actually a fireman, but like at the time, nobody else was in healthcare.
Okay.
I always have just been really drawn to healthcare. Like I've always just loved people. So I knew from a young age, I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. That didn't work out. But even when I made the decision to go back to school and, get a career, like it was always going to be healthcare. Like there was no other option for me.
Yeah.
It was a calling, honestly.
I love that. That's so good. What is the most difficult situation that you've experienced in life up to this point?
The most difficult experience, I would say probably losing my sister. She passed away unexpectedly almost 2 years ago, and we were like very close. She was one of my best friends, so that has definitely been a difficult experience.
Tell us a little bit more about your sister and share with us a little bit behind the curtains of what that experience has been like for you and how you have taken that experience and what you've taken away from it.
Yeah.
So share a little bit about her and what the experience has taught you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my sister, Tara, she literally was like the funniest person I know. We were very, very close, like from my early 20s up until, she passed away. But she could like brighten up any room, like always high energy, like everyone just wanted to be around her, magnetic, if you will. But life happens and she got hooked on drugs. And, you always think like that's not going to happen to my family. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but that thought goes into your head. So she ended up passing away of a fentanyl overdose. And that has honestly just changed everything in my family life. It's been really difficult. So anytime I encounter a patient or anyone who's struggling with substance abuse, like I always bring up her story because I don't want her death to be in vain. And if I could share her story with someone and save a life, then I know like she would be proud of that.
So, Rhonda, we're going to hit pause on our conversation. We're going to take a brief break to thank our amazing sponsors. My friends, don't you go anywhere. You're listening to Business Minds Coffee Chat. We will be right back. Hey, it's Jay with Thomas Media Solutions. Join us every Monday night from 6 to 8 at Tortugas in Flagler Beach for the best live entertainment around. We do several rounds of general knowledge trivia. That means it's trivia for everyone. It just doesn't get any better than this. If you're looking for the best food, the best drinks, the best people, and the best entertainment around, Tortugas is the place to be. Make sure to get there early to get a seat. See you there.
All right, here we go. Let us entertain you all season long at the Fitzgerald Performing Arts Center. Our brand new season is out now. We've got great shows and great seats waiting for you. Every time you buy a ticket to a show at the Fitz, you support the performing arts in Flagler schools. Get all the information and buy tickets at flaglerentertainment.com.
This is Jay Shear. Are you a business owner or entrepreneur trying to figure out how to improve and achieve greater results? If so, I'm speaking to you. I provide the tools, coaching, and accountability you need to gain clarity around your personal and professional goals, remove the excuses holding you back, build the mindset, leadership skills, and proven strategies to grow your business and become the best version of yourself. To learn more or to apply for my coaching services, call 904-236-0431 or visit jshearbusinessconsulting.com.
Thank you so much for recommending us to your family and friends. When you need a 30, 60, or 90-minute massage, it's real easy to book your appointment online. MassageByNatalie.org. MassageByNatalie.org.
All right, we're back. And again, you're listening to Business Minds Coffee Chat, and I am in the studio today with my very special guest, Rhonda Richardson. We've been having a fantastic conversation. We're going to keep that conversation going right now. So, Rhonda, before we took the break, we were talking about family. We were talking about your growing up and what your career aspirations were, becoming a mom at 20 years old, some really interesting information. And then we're also talking about one of your older sisters, Tara, who passed away. And I wanted to talk about that situation just for another moment or two. So she passed away due to a drug overdose.
Yeah, fentanyl.
Yeah. And you were starting to talk about the impact that had. Now, you tell Tara's story because you know that you don't want anyone else to go through anything similar. So when you're sharing the story of Tara and what you and your family experienced, what reaction do you typically get, and what are you hoping the outcome is going to be by keeping her memory alive, but by sharing that piece of her story? Because that's not Tara's only. That doesn't define who Tara was, right? It's one part of her story. Yeah. Obviously, something very significant. But what are you hoping someone is going to do or do differently when you share that story?
So when I share her story, the main point I want to get across is it's not safe to experiment with drugs. Not that it ever was, but now more than ever, it's not, because there's literally fentanyl in everything, so that's the point I want to drive home. Like, it's not safe to experiment with drugs, and I don't know.
If you had the opportunity to have one last conversation with Tara, what would you want to ask?
What would it take to help you? I mean, those were conversations like we would have frequently, but when someone's in addiction and, they're not really admitting that there's something going on, it's just a really difficult situation to navigate. You know what I'm saying? Someone has to acknowledge that there's a problem so that then you can together find a solution. But unfortunately, addiction is a disease, and it truly alters the chemistry in the brain, and it's just a really difficult situation to navigate. So anyone struggling with addiction, like my heart breaks for them.
Yeah, as does mine. I think about that we have to meet people where they are.
Right.
And to your point, and it's a very important point, that until someone is ready for change,
right,
it's difficult, very difficult for that person to change.
Yeah.
And so I feel for you on that one. So if you were to write your autobiography, what do you think a good title for that book would be?
I would say a good title would be You Can Overcome Anything, with the right motivation and determination, because it doesn't matter really like what you've been through in life. I kind of gave you a little bit of my background. Like, I wasn't always this put together person with her life together. Like, I've gone through some things in life, but it doesn't matter what you've gone through. Like, your mind is the most powerful tool that you have. So whatever you put your mind to, you can make anything happen.
That's such a great outlook and philosophy to follow as well. So what type of content do you typically consume? Give us a sense. First of all, do you enjoy reading?
I don't really have a lot of time because I'm a busy mom of 3, but I have some audiobooks for sure.
Okay. So audiobooks
to multitask.
Okay. Got it. So what's on your audiobook playlist? What kind of things do you enjoy listening to?
I like listening to like self-help books, anything that I feel can improve my life in any way, or if it can give me some golden nuggets to help someone out. So things like that.
Okay. Very good. And if I asked you to rate yourself on a scale of, let's say, 0 to 100, with 100 being fully realized potential, right? Absolute rock star, with 0 being, I got a long way to go, nothing, right? Where would you rate yourself today on that scale of 0 to 100 in terms of potential, fully realized potential?
I would say 60%.
60%.
Life is a journey, and there's always room for improvement. I'm not anywhere near my fullest potential, but every day I'm hoping to get closer there. So
help me understand then, and I appreciate your response. There's no correct or incorrect answer. The answer is what the answer is, right? So in order to continue to improve, like when I'm working with a business or an individual who is looking to reach more potential in their own lives, I focus on not only where they are today, but the gap of where they are versus where they want to go or where they want to be. So what are a couple key areas that you feel you need to focus and work on to reach more of your potential? And be specific with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So being a business owner, it's very easy to get wrapped up in work and to bring work home and kind of have it intrude on your home life. So as a busy mom of 3, I'm always like striving to have that fine line, not have work intrude too much on my home life that's going to take away from my time with my kids. But it's ever evolving because no one's perfect. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one. So how are you at setting boundaries today?
I feel like I'm pretty good at setting boundaries.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So in your practice, you obviously you deal with a lot of people who are dealing with depression, anxiety, trauma, all different types of behavioral challenges. How do you, and I asked about boundaries, how do you ensure that the work that you do and the conversations that you have, how do you ensure that that doesn't seep into your personal life and really overwhelm or consume you?
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, when I first started doing what I do, like it was hard, right? Because I'm a very empathetic person. And when someone's my patient, it's like I'm immediately on their cheerleading squad. You know what I'm saying? So if they're not doing good in the beginning, I was kind of taking that home. But I've just really had to kind of compartmentalize. You know what I'm saying? I can't allow stressors that I'm dealing with at work or that my patients are dealing with bring me down, because then I'm not showing up as my best version for my family, and I can't have that.
Yeah. So when you're under your own levels of stress and you're just dealing with all the stuff that you deal with, from patients to family, all the different dynamics of life, what is your go-to tool for stress relief and grounding yourself?
Yes, I'm happy that you asked. So honestly, the beach is my happy place. Like if I'm feeling stressed, overwhelmed, I find like just walking on the beach, feeling the sand on my toes, like it just does something to me, like resets me, just makes me feel really good. So I really try to get to the beach frequently, especially if I'm feeling like drained and overwhelmed, because I know I'm going to feel better.
Do you feel like you're going to have to go to the beach after this conversation?
No, it's been a great conversation.
I figured I'd ask just to find out where we are. So what piece of advice would you give to our audience who might be around folks who they know are dealing with some difficult challenges in life? They can just sense it, but they don't know what to do, and they're not quite sure where to go. What would you share? What would you encourage someone to do when they know that, whether it's a family member, a friend, a coworker, what would you suggest to them?
I feel like communication goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might see somebody struggling, but it's like you don't know what to say, so you say nothing. Yeah. Just being a listening ear sometimes can help. So just asking the person, like, hey, you seem like you're not yourself. Like, what's going on? You know, is there anything that I can help you with? And, you know, maybe they'll open up and you can guide them to the right resources, or just be that listening ear that they may need in the moment.
And if the person responds with, I'm fine, you know, life is good. You know, but you still kind of know that it's not. Do you let it go?
I feel like in a calm way. Like, are you sure? Because I know you, and you don't really seem like yourself. Like, what's going on? You can talk to me. It's a safe space, like something to that effect, you know?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Very good. I would love it if you would give all of us a challenge. What is one thing that you would challenge our listeners and those that are watching right now? What would you challenge us to do starting immediately?
I would challenge you to do something beneficial for your mental health, at least once a day. It doesn't have to be any like long, drawn out activity, but taking, you know, a couple of minutes to just be with yourself, your thoughts, like speaking positivity and love into yourself, starting your day off like that, I feel like can definitely make positive changes in your week. So I would say starting your day off with some words of affirmation.
And that's how you start your day?
Yes.
You're intentional about the way you start your day?
Absolutely.
Very good. I've always believed that if we can control our morning, then we have a better chance of controlling the rest of our day. Yeah. Things are always going to happen, but the one thing that we can do is we can be intentional about how we start the day and start ourselves empowered. So, one other question for you before we wrap up our conversation today. How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as a great mom who showed up for her kids and someone who put a lot of good out into the world.
That's fantastic. I love that. So, Rhonda, I want to thank you so very much for joining me today on Business Minds Coffee Chat. I have enjoyed this conversation. I feel some of the pain that you have, but I also feel the positive energy that you have as well. And I think that stands out above all else. And thank you for the work that you do in not only your practice, but also the growth that you're starting to experience in this community. I know that's very meaningful, and what you're doing is incredibly important. So thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. It is my pleasure. And for all of you, I want to thank you so very much for tuning into Business Minds Coffee Chat. We will be back next Saturday morning at 8:30. And until then, my friends, keep learning and growing and keep doing the work to reach your potential. Take care, everyone.